Participating student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon a Canton school official. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated, could subject the violator to ejection, and may result in penalties being assessed against your team. Our nation has persevered through the leadership and sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. At this time, we invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand as we honor you on Veterans Day. We thank you for your service to our country. Be announcing and introducing the players and starting lineups for both teams. Please remain standing at this time. Visiting Hopkinton Hillers. Number 3, Corrine Messier. Number 9, Maggie Allen. Number 16, Molly Andrews. Number 14, Meredith Sesnick. Number 17, Kate Legassi. Number 4, Emily Murphy. Number 19, Maria Vassington. Number 0, Kristen McCluskey. Number 5, Tiffany McCoulis. Number 2, Alexis Veal. Number 22, Kelly Titel. Number 23, Ashley Butler. Number 24, Ava Perlove. Number 25, Gabriel Siri. Now you're starting lineups for the Hillers. Senior number 12, Natalie Calkins. Senior number 15, Sydney McDonald. Senior number 13, Gabriel Wielden. Senior number 11, Maya Zent. Junior number 20, Allison Bird. Junior number 1, Alexa Hasbrook. Junior number 8, Delaney Mick. Junior number 18, Olivia O'Connor. Junior number 10, Megan Sullivan. Sophomore number 7, Riley Delaney. Sophomore number 6, Lillian York. And your head coach, Wayne Sygrove. Now the Notre Dame Cougars. Number 10, Emily Glennon. Number 12, Lily Bartlett. Number 13, Ellie Tucker. Number 14, Ava Foley. Number 16, Corrine Cronin. Number 17, Julia Bertarelli. Number 18, Jaden McNiff. Number 19, Erin Leone. Number 21, Avery McNiff. Number 23, Kara Tuzik. Number 26, Caroline Kelly. Number 28, Sarah Hurley. Number 30, Lola Paradis. Now your starting lineups for the Cougars. Junior number 1, Haley Roberts. Senior number 2, Jenna Savaria. Freshman, sorry about that. Senior number 3, Annie Pine. Junior number 4, Maggie Lunine. Freshman number 6, Olivia Bucci. Junior number 7, Catherine Shaw. Senior number 8, Emma Tucker. Junior number 9, Grace Callow. Junior number 15, Maddie Reardon. Junior number 22, Shannon Lavangi. Junior number 25, Anna Bertarelli. And your head coach, Kelly Desmond Turner. Please rise for the playing of our national anthem. good luck to both teams and enjoy today's game.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Canton High School. It is the South Division II Sectional Finals. The 9th-seeded Hopkinton Hillers are at 12-3-6 on the season, and today they are taking on 6th-seeded Notre Dame Academy of Hingham, who is at 15-2-4 overall. Tom Nappy, Mike Terosian on the call. Mike Terosian also pulling double duty today on the camera. It should be a great matchup here on this beautiful Monday afternoon. It is Veterans Day. It was Veterans Day yesterday, but today is the Observance Day, so they have a lot of postseason games going on today, and you certainly could not ask for better weather as the Hiller girls get ready to take the field. And Mike, despite all the talent on this team, I don't know if anyone expected Hopkinton to make it to this point with a new coach, a lot of youth on the team, and they have just gotten better and better as the season has gone on, and what a run they have had so far.
It's been fun watching the tweets come in and just seeing how much better that these girls got. Me, this is my first game this season. I didn't get to make the senior night because of double duty with volleyball, but let me tell you something. I am just so excited to be here today. This is going to be a great match. And a year ago today, well, I should say a year ago tonight, we were watching a different Hiller team playing a different Notre Dame team. We were at the finals for Hiller volleyball.
Right.
I think it was Worcester, maybe.
And by the way, I should mention that the winner of this game actually goes straight to the state championship. There is no state semifinals.
No semi, right.
It'll be the North champion versus the South champion. It'll take place next Saturday at a time to be determined at Xaverian High School. So we are ready to go. The Hillers will start off with possession, and they have just played tremendous defense in the postseason as they have a couple shutouts in a row. It hasn't been about the offense for this Hillers girls team. It's been about the defense. As Notre Dame trying to establish some possession as we go back and forth here in the neutral zone. Out of bounds along the near side it goes. It is out on Notre Dame of Hingham, throwing for the Hillers. Along the near side, it's Sydney McDonald. And nicely done by Riley Delaney to get it away. And I think we're going to see a good defensive game here today as Notre Dame of Hingham trying to establish some possession along the far side with Hannah Bertarelli getting in there. Here comes the Hillers coming up field along the far side, and that's put out of bounds. Out of bounds once again, this time off a Hiller. And it's a throw-in for Notre Dame. A couple headers along the far side, and coming up quickly along the sideline is Shannon Levangie. So looking at this Notre Dame of Hingham roster, a lot of players from Marshfield, Norwell, Milton, Hanover, Braintree. So that general area is what makes up this Notre Dame Academy team as the Hiller girls working in to the attack zone.
You know, it's always fun watching a high school take on a regional school because, granted, the numbers similar, although you're pulling from 2 different towns or 3 different towns or sometimes even 6 different towns.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of controversy behind schools that get to recruit playing in the same bracket as schools that can't. But
correct.
I'd say in most sports, though, it works out, and the level of competition is pretty good. But certainly,
except in baseball, I noticed baseball.
And basketball is pretty bad too.
Baseball, they definitely have the bigger advantage when you get to recruit.
Right.
Just my thoughts.
It's Notre Dame of Hingham working up the far side, and we'll go over the runs for both these teams as well throughout the course of this broadcast. Both teams really had some tough competition to get to this point. This bracket is a very difficult bracket. As the Hillers working up the near side, that's Delaney Mick. Pass upfield. Delaney Mick has just been sensational in the postseason. Riley Delaney has been huge. Gabby Welding. It's just been all about the defense for the Hillers. They beat Medway on Saturday 1-0 as here comes Notre Dame of Hingham. The Cougars working up the far side. That's Bertarelli. And it's stolen away. Nicely done defensively there by the Hillers. Down the sideline it goes. That's still in. And now it's out.
Yeah, that would never happen on Hopkinton field. With Hopkinton is mostly, well, except for the new turf field, where it's all grass. That sucker would have rolled out a while back. But these nice, perfectly flat surfaces, the ball's going to roll straight as long as you kick it straight.
New field is certainly going to be a nice addition that the soccer team will heavily enjoy instead of playing on the choppy Field 13.
I mean, it's nice to have them at the high school instead of going all the way to the other side of town, on Fruit Street.
Certainly is.
It also makes for us to have a better broadcast as well.
That's right. Here comes Hasbro quickly. Back pass there. Hasbro, a whole lot of speed is coming up now. It's Delaney Mick. Turned away by Olivia Mucci. Back to Sydney McDonald. McDonald back to Hasbro. Trying to center it up. Maybe a shot opportunity here for Welding. There it is, and it's deflected by a defender. Welding gets it back. Out in front, the shot. And here's another Hiller shot here. And that is going to be a goal. No, it's waved off. Looks like offsides.
Looks like offsides on the side ref over here.
So offsides was called. That would have been Allie Bird with the goal, but she was waiting right in front of the net, but she was in the box, so that drew the offsides call. So erase that goal. It remains a scoreless game between the Hillers and the Cougars. So Hopkinton, they took down Medway in the semifinals 1-0. It's certainly an impressive win. Medway was the seed. And let's not forget the Hillers were the 9th seed in this bracket. Then before that, they beat the first-seeded Old Rochester Regional in the quarterfinals 1-0. Before that was a win over Scituate on the road, 2-0. They were the 8th seed. So it's been a very difficult road for the Hillers to get to this point.
Looks like we have an injury timeout here. I think that's number 6 for Notre Dame.
Yeah, so we have a Cougars player a little shooken up. Olivia Mucci, hope she's okay. Seems to be walking under her own power for the most part, so perhaps just caught the wrong end of the kick there.
So it looks like they'll do a drop ball here.
And we are back underway. We're going to do it again, it looks like. A little premature movement there. For Notre Dame Academy, they were the 6th seed coming into the postseason. In the first round, they took down Nauset 2-0, and then they took down Foxborough 2-1, then Holliston in the semifinals 3-0, and what an impressive win to get over Holliston. As here comes the Cougars up the near side, and we get a whistle, and that is going to go in the Hillers' direction. Throw in here, Hasbrook. Header by Delaney Mick. Beautiful facility here at Canton High School. Nice press box, great stands.
Great. Awesome staff. Being met.
Is.
It's nice being met at the entrance by the athletic director, showing you where to go, what to do. Nothing like it.
I'd say they're a great host for these postseason games. Hasbrook on the entry. The Hillers, I'm sure, happier to be a little bit closer to home. They've been at the Cape for the most part.
Yeah.
And there's a shot by Welding, just wide to the left.
So they should go okay. Well, it's nice. How do they figure out these neutral locations?
It's all predetermined.
All done ahead of time.
They have schools apply for hosts, and they either approve or don't approve, but they probably know where these games are going to be for the next 3 or 4 years, because they like to select it well ahead of time.
Right, and that's why we had a little bit of controversy with volleyball, with the Hillers playing an away game at home against Franklin, who was the higher seed.
Right.
Because that was supposed to be a neutral location, and Hopkins happened to be that neutral location.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Notre Dame of Hingham had a situation like that against the Hillers one year.
They did.
In volleyball. So it just happens that way. Medway also had a neutral site home game in the volleyball postseason. But in all honesty, I don't think it really makes a difference.
And we got
think
subs.
Yeah, we got a couple subs coming in. It looks like Anna Bertarelli was a little shooken up. Notre Dame of Hingham is led by head coach Kelly Turner, and they are just a constant threat in the South Division II bracket.
Looked like a little medical timeout or something. They washed something off her knee.
Now she's back out there running well, so she's ready to go. So that'll increase the stoppage time a little bit here in this first half. On the far side, it'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Trying to work up the sideline for the Hillers is Maya Zent. Nicely done by Hopkinton. Back to the neutral zone they go, trying to get back to the near side. That's where they're strongest. Here comes Hasbrook. Out in front, coming in quickly, Lily York. And getting in front of York was Loughnane, Margaret Loughnane, so a nice defensive play there. Tom Nappy, Mike Tarosian, happy to bring you the South Division II Sectional Finals. The winner of this game goes to the state championship for Division II girls soccer. No semifinals in this division, which I think is a good thing, seeing how tough this bracket already is.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't think there's need for another game. It's not like it's not like you're fighting for TV time and you want to get all those extra playoffs in.
Right. Boot here. We'll head over to midfield. Hopkinton, for the most part, has won the possession battle. It's 1-1 as far as shots in net. Up the far side, chasing it down is O'Connor. She's cut off there. Cougars trying to set up a shot. Out in front is Bartlett. Turned around by Welding. Along the sideline is Bird. And Bird able to get by two Cougars. Nicely done there. Over to Hasbrook along the near side. And chase down along the sideline. It'll be Grace Callow that'll get to it. Throw in for Notre Dame Academy. Trying to set up a shot here. Cut off by the defender as Loughnane gets it away. Along the near side, out of bounds. No, kept in by Levangie. Nice job. Now we'll get a whistle here, and it'll be a free kick in favor of the Hillers.
Now they're calling it out. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in.
Ah, so they changed the call there. Throw in for Hasbrook.
See, a lot of times, Tom, I don't know if you notice in soccer, when the ball goes out, there's not always a whistle.
Right.
Because usually it's, not to say this in women's soccer, but it's gentleman rules.
Along the end line, out in front, and it's cut off by Hasbrook. Still in the danger zone, however. And that one's popped up by Tucker, and out of bounds it goes. Great defensive work there by Hasbrook. Getting in front of the action, cutting off that shot attempt by Lily Bartlett. But yeah, they
so
to your
the
point,
rules,
they keep the game going, really.
right.
And most of the time the players know when it's out.
Oh, exactly. And that one there was so close that they both were waiting for the whistle. They both kept playing, which
Right.
was a smart move. You know, you don't stop playing until you get the whistle.
That's
And
right.
We got a downhiller, number 13.
Yeah, that was Gabby Welding, who took a hard hit. It was just simultaneous contact there, going for the ball with, I believe this is Haley Roberts. We certainly hope she's okay. An injured player on the field. We're in the first half, about 11 minutes through. We are scoreless between the Hillers and Notre Dame Academy, and we'll take a timeout on HCAM.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM. From setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
Off an injury stoppage. Gabby Welding was a little shook up, but she was walking off under her own power, so hopefully we'll see her back in the game. She's certainly been a huge piece of this team for the Hillers girls this season, as we'll have a free kick from the far side here. Big opportunity for Hopkinton. We'll see where she places this. I'm sure she's going to try to center it up. And there it is, right to the middle. That's where you want it. And we get a whistle, this time in favor of the Cougars. Offsides. Taking this free kick is Margaret Loftnane. Good boot there. Cougars trying to establish an attack, which is not easy to do against this Hillers defense. Up the far side towards Allie Bird. Popped back into Hillers territory, header by Maya Zent. The Hillers will have a free kick here. Header by McDonald. Back and forth we go. The Hillers might have something going here. Along the near side, here's McCulis. Excuse me, that is Delaney Mick rather, and that's out of bounds off of Callow.
So it looks like a corner here for
Yep.
corner for the Hillers.
They'll have the corner, and this is a huge opportunity. And the Hillers have done extremely well on the corner kicks this season. That's actually how they defeated Old Rochester. It was Gabby Welding on a corner kick. Taking this one is Lily York.
I thought I had this whole corner. There it is.
The boot out in front. And deflected by the defender. Well, nicely done by the Cougars to get it away. It was put right in the danger zone. Couldn't have asked for a better corner than that if you're the Hillers. Grace Callow able to get it away. There's McDonald. Back to Hasbrook. Hasbrook puts it back into Cougars territory. Hillers have done a nice job at establishing possession in this match. On the far side. Here comes the Hillers. Hasbrook coming up field fast. Gets that one over to Delaney Mick. And it's deflected away by Mucci. Back into Hillers territory it goes. Hasbrook just so much speed working along the sideline. He's able to put that one out of bounds off of a Cougar. Puts it out off of Tucker. There's Allie Bird, who scored the winning goal, or the only goal, against Medway in the semifinals. And that was at the 48 mark, so it was in the second half. And the Hillers defense were able to get their second straight shutout in the semifinals against a very good Medway team. Medway's a team that went to the state finals for three straight years.
Yep.
Hillers put an end to that. Yep. Hillers were actually, I believe, in Division III last year, and now this is their first year in Division II for girls soccer, as here goes Margaret Sullivan downfield. Over the near side, there's Delaney Mick. Cougars trying to establish an attack here. Hasbrook is there. Puts it out off of Levangie. Lexi Hasbrook is going to be very valuable to this team, especially next season. Who's coming out of the net to wrap this one up is Calkins. Calkins airs it out. She's done a terrific job in net this season for the Hillers. Throw in for the Cougars. Callow on the entry. Approaching the midway point of this first half. 24 minutes left to go. course, there is some stoppage time as well, as that is put out of bounds off of O'Connor. It's Notre Dame on the throw in here. Hasbrook defends that corner well. It's poked out. Pine turns it around, out in front, header. And Calkins drawn out of the net as approaching quickly was Bertarelli. Calkins airs it out. Off of Delaney Mick. Along the far side, trying to turn around is Bertarelli. Up into the danger zone, but there to deflect it is O'Connor. Putting it back is Shaw. Bartlett trying to work her way into the attack zone. That was deflected off of Maya Zent, throwing for the Cougars. On the entry, Catherine Shaw. Entering the game for the Cougars is Avery McNiff for Ann Pine. Good boot there, out in front, header, and Calkins jumps up and pulls it down. That was Levangie with the header. Calkins was there and ready for it. Good save. Cougars putting the pressure on, however. They now lead in shots on goal, 4-2. Of course, we are still scoreless. Up the near side, Hasbrook. Over to McDonald. Out of bounds it goes. Cougars on the entry. Callow on the entry. Off of McNiff it goes. And putting that out of bounds was Lily York. Well, defensive battle as we expected so far, Mike.
I tell you, that I'm loving the back and forth. I'd like to see the ball passed on the ground a little bit more for better control. But I think the Hills are doing a good job holding their own. They just need a scoring opportunity, just that one little break.
And that's how it's been all postseason, really. It's been defending your zone well and getting that one little break. The Hillers so far have gotten it in this postseason. As up the far side is Maya Zent. Down into Cougars territory they go.
Handball.
And that ends up going out of bounds. As trying to get to it was Sesnick.
A little handball, a late whistle, but
yeah,
still a whistle nonetheless. That's one thing in soccer. They do not rush to blow the whistle. They take their time.
That's right, especially if it's in the middle of the action. As Tucker airs this one out. Cougars working their way back into Hillers territory. Hasbrook flex it away back to midfield. Cougars have established a pretty good attack in the last few minutes. A little push there, no whistle, and now we get a late whistle.
Yep.
And that is a valid whistle. Certainly some body contact there from Riley Delaney on Shannon Levangie, and a big free kick coming up here for the Cougars. This will be Margaret Loughnane taking it, and she might just go for the straight out shot here.
Well, it's a indirect kick, so it has to hit somebody, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. Off the post it goes. Nearly a goal. She was going for that top corner. Along the far side. Flicked away by Hasbrook. And out of bounds it goes. On the throw in, Callow. Chased down by Hasbrook. I think you were thinking of field hockey with that rule, by the way.
Oh, no. Well, you have two types. You have direct and indirect, and I wasn't sure which one he called. I didn't get to see the ref put his hand up.
As Callow puts that back into Hillers territory. Calkins is there. We are past the midway point of this first half. The Cougars, they've established some pressure here on the Hillers, Mike.
Yeah, the pressure is really good. You tell that pressure just by the back and forth.
Hopkinton certainly, I think, has to get the ball out of their zone a little bit more. As I always say, if you keep letting them come at you and get into the attack zone, eventually they're going to find the net. As the Hillers trying to work their way back into Cougars territory. On the near side, it's Delaney Mick. Over to midfield we go. Chase down there was McDonald, and good footwork by McNiff. Here comes the Cougars looking for a shot here. Deflected away, McDonald. Puts it back down.
You need a break right here.
McDonald and Delaney Mick have done a nice job in the defensive zone. The Cougars certainly winning the possession battle in the last few minutes. Callow on the throw-in. Turned around by Hasbrook. Header there by Callow. And Hiller is trying to establish some kind of attack, but Catherine Shaw is able to chase it down along the far side. I believe that's Maya Zent working against Bertarelli along the far side. Now putting it up is O'Connor. Back to the neutral zone we go. Lily York chasing it down. A little trip up there. Hopkinton still with possession. Delaney Mick. Pass down, looking for Hasbrook. Hasbrook's going to go in for the shot here. Here she goes, trying to get around the defender. The shot, and it's just a little bit wide. Well, she couldn't really establish her footing. It was good pressure by Shannon Levangie for the Cougars.
Levangie was right there by her side, keeping that arm out, not letting it get around her, and forced the kick to go to the side of the net.
Good vision there, though, by the Hillers. And that's who I think you have to hit. Hasbrook just has so much speed, and for the most part, she could burn by anybody.
Yep. And we got a couple subs here. That looks like an injury.
And it looks like we might have a player shooken up, but appears to be okay. Waving off the trainers. So Catherine Shaw is going to come out of the game for the Cougars. Well, there's been some good physical play out there today so far.
That's right, and it's all been fair too. I mean, everyone's going for the ball, the foot's touching the ball, so that's why you haven't seen any yellow cards.
Well, it's two aggressive teams, and they're just simply playing. Nothing is. There's no dirty hits out there. It's all clean play. It's been a good physical soccer match so far. As the Cougars trying to establish an attack, a shot here, and it's off of Calkins. What a save there by Calkins. And a secondary shot, and Calkins will wrap it up. On the initial shot, that was Bertarelli, and then it was Emma Tucker who came in. Great work in net by Calkins.
Yeah, I think she got a lot of pellets in the eye there from that kick.
I'd say so.
She's having a little difficulty seeing.
Yeah, she's going to take her time, I think, kicking this one away. What a job she has done in net all season long. And she's been in some big pressure situations. That makes it look easy. Here comes Allie Bird. Bird working around a defender, and it's deflected away by Reardon. Along the far side now. Chase down Margaret Allen. Hillers trying to work it into Cougars territory and give the pressure right back. McDonald will center that one up with the defender there. Hasbrook trying to sneak in. Back into the Hillers zone it goes. O'Connor puts it over to the far side. Put back down by Zent. Good footwork there by Delaney Mick. Two Cougars closing in. It's stolen away by Callow. Turns it around. And out of bounds off of McDonald. Header along the sideline. Nice bicycle kick there by Levangie. Hasbrook puts it in. There's Sesnick. Now the pass down by Sullivan. Trying to establish possession there was Delaney Mick. Diller's throw-in. And it looks like we will have a timeout call. About 15 minutes left to go in the first half, and we are scoreless between the Notre Dame Academy Cougars and the Hopkinton Hillers. It is the South Division II Sectional Finals on HCAM.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM. From setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
Off the timeout, Alexis Hasbrook set to throw in for the Hillers. Scoreless between the 9th-seeded Hillers and the 6th-seeded Notre Dame of Hingham Cougars. Tom Nappy, Mike Tarosian on the call. Hasbrook on the entry. Mike also running camera on this beautiful afternoon. Here comes the Hillers, an opportunity here. Shot to the left, and that's in! Goal, Hopkinton, Allie Bird! It comes with 14:54 left to go in the first half. And the Hillers, they have the lead. Allie Bird strikes again. She had the only goal in the win against Medway, and she gets one here. Great work by Hopkinton. And how about that shot, Mike?
I tell you, it was just placed perfectly, right out of the reach of the keeper.
There is no way you're getting to that one. Here comes Hasbrook. Hasbrook puts it down the near side. If you leave Allie Bird in open territory, look out.
You can't give Allie Bird any space.
There's Allie Bird now, trying to chase it down along the near side. Here comes Delaney Mick. That's on the ground, but we get a whistle. I believe, it's an injured player. Injured Cougar. Wow, a lot of injuries in this game.
Yeah, they're dropping it. You know, I notice a lot more, too, the injuries on the turf fields than on the grass
slippery
pitch.
out there. You got to imagine.
The pitch, it's still a harder surface, whereas, the dirt surface, it gets harder as it gets colder and whatever. Are they better off on a field like this? Absolutely. You also have the less impact when you're running. In these pellets that are in this turf, too, is also designed in the players' favors, for not, just injuries like this, but your concussions on other games. As you can see, it's taped off here for every possible sport. Boys and girls lacrosse, you get football,
right?
Field hockey. Everything is played on this, so they have to look at everything when they design the fields. Injury like I didn't see the player go down. I mean, it could have been something as simple as locked knee with another player, or.
And I think what it is the turf is a more slippery surface, but it's certainly not as hard of a surface.
Right.
So that's why you see maybe injuries more frequently, but they're not as severe.
Right. And they're also less slippery in the rain, which helps us New England towns that always rain delay with every game.
Right. And we'll certainly be looking forward to baseball and softball this season. And I know that the turf baseball field is mainly going to be for JV, but I would not be surprised at all if we see some varsity night games on it, or if they play on it when it's
I think you're going to see varsity night before you see a varsity day game. They just did the major renovations to field number 2.
Right.
And in naming it in
well,
honor of Tommy McIntyre.
Goal by number 20,
if the snow sticks around, I think you could see some afternoon games on the turf field. That's going to be about the weather. I think you're right, though.
Right.
They're going to play.
That's easy enough to switch because you're just walking less distance. They get temporary bleachers down there. They all have batting cages, everything you need for a game.
Right. They'll be on the grass field for the most part, as they should, because they did some beautiful renovations there.
And who wants to play on turf when you got a gorgeous grass field?
That's right. Baseball's meant to be played on grass. As Hasbrook trying to put it down the near side. Unless you're the Tampa Bay Rays. Hasbrook on the throw-in.
What cracks me up is all these towns that have the sunshine all year round, they have the fake fields.
Right. Doesn't make sense. Playing on grass. That's what it's all about. That's why backyard baseball started it all. McDonald with the header. Hasbrook up the sideline. McDonald trying to get it out of this traffic jam here. Delaney Mick gets it down back into Cougars territory. Good ball distribution here by the Hillers. Keeping possession and now working up the far side. Out in front, Allie Bird was trying to get there, but a couple Cougars in the area, and they are watching Bird very closely after that goal. Cougars trying to work their way upfield. Over to Savaria to the near side. Hasbrook deflects it. Out of bounds it goes. Getting down towards the 12-minute mark of this first half.
12-minute of the time clock at the field. Official probably I bet you add about 4 more minutes.
They did stop the clock, I believe, on a couple of the injuries. So
Oh, they actually stopped it, really? Usually that plays.
here comes the Cougars. An opportunity here. Hillers, they're going to have to defend. The Cougars trying to put the pressure on, and great defense there once again by Hopkinton. Yeah, typically they keep the clock rolling, but when it's a extended injury timeout, they'll sometimes stop it so it doesn't get too out of hand with the stoppage time. As Grace Callow will have the entry. But it's all up to the officials, really.
That's right. The official time is on his watch.
Right. Either way, you're going to get the official time. I personally like when they stop it because it gives me a better idea.
Get a little elbow call there. That's
Kick.
why I don't even know why they bother showing a clock at all on a soccer match.
Well, I do like it, though, because it certainly helps, and it gives you an idea of where you're at. Because there was plenty of games up at field 13 where we couldn't see the clock, and we had no idea how much time was left. At least here we get an idea, as they do stop the clock prior to this free kick. As Hasbrook is set to release. Whenever there's an official stoppage, they try to stop the clock. Hasbrook's going to air this one out. Up the near side, nicely done, right towards Allie Bird.
Nice
That was
trap.
her intended target. Look at his footwork. Great pass. Delaney Mick trying to center it up, and she was going for the shot there. Bit wide, and a Cougars throw in. Along the near sideline, Levangie.
Oh, no.
Great steal. Here comes Bird.
You can't do that with the Hillers in your zone.
Stolen away by Lofnane. Luckily for the Cougars, Lofnane was there, but now it's centered up. Chasing it down, that is Delaney Mick. Or excuse me, that is Lily York, I believe, on the far side. Tough to see these numbers sometimes.
Yeah, it's even tougher through this TV screen.
Certainly is.
Got a little shoe adjustment here.
Throw in for the Hillers. Cougars defense has faced a whole lot of pressure in the last few minutes. It's a 1-0 lead for Hopkinton. Along the far side is O'Connor. Out of bounds it goes.
Yeah, that was a nice move.
Throw in for the Cougars. Tucker on the entry. Jammed up along the far sideline. Maya Zent was trying to sneak it out for the Hillers, but now the Cougars looking for a shot here. Deflected away by a Hiller that was off of Sesnick. Sesnick has just played very well as the season has gone on. Cougars trying to establish possession here. Out in front, in the danger zone, the shot, and did that go in? I believe it was saved, and yes, it was. What a save by Calkins. That was Bertarelli with a wide open opportunity, but Calkins dives and is able to scoop it up and keep it a 1-0 game. But I'll tell you, though, if you're the Hillers, you can't let them put pressure on you like that. Allie Bird on the chase down there. That'll force Hilly Roberts out of the net. Approaching 9 minutes left in this first half. A 1-0 lead for Hopkinton. It's been a battle of two tremendous defenses. Along the near side. Passed down by O'Connor. There's Delaney Mick. Now McDonald stepping in.
Nope.
We're going to get a whistle here, a little push. And this is going against the Cougars.
Yeah, the problem was the Cougar did not have their foot on the ball, and you can't hit the other foot. I mean, if you hit the ball and cause a trip, that's fine. But when you hit another foot without hitting the ball, you're getting the penalty called on you.
So McNiff with the trip there as Hasbrook centers it up. Cougars trying to establish an attack. On the near side, chased down by Tucker. Nicely defended by Hopkinton. Hanging back there to defend was Olivia O'Connor. And Riley Delaney able to get it away. Or excuse me, that was Hasbrook able to get it away.
Cougars fans looking for a handball call there down there.
Allie Bird trying to get to it. Here comes the Cougars, Shaw. Back towards the neutral zone. Hopkinton's going to try the far side now. Here comes Megan Sullivan. Sullivan with the back pass out in front. Cougar is able to get there. Here's Levangie along the near side. Puts it in the Hillers territory. That is quickly taken care of by McDonald. Pass down to Delaney Mick, and now out in front towards Sesnick. Back and forth we go, and that's going to draw a whistle. A little push there by Maya Zent. We'll have a free kick for the Cougars. This is going to be good positioning for the Cougars on this free kick. Taking it is going to be Margaret Loughnane. She has a big leg, so look out. It's a beauty. Hawkins jumps up, and that is off the crossbar. A header out in front, still in the danger zone. Oh, did they get lucky there?
I think she got some fingers on it.
I think that hit the crossbar, though.
Yep.
Just a tad too high.
Either way, Hawkins was there.
Yep. Hawkins has done a tremendous job in net and some incredible saves today. Throw in for the Cougars. Catherine Shaw on the entry. Header there by Delaney Mick. Winner of this game goes to the Division II state championship.
Oh, she ran right into a foot.
Well, that'll draw the whistle
She
there.
ran right into a foot.
And that is in favor of the Cougars.
Not to be a homer, but...
So what do you think happened?
Well, as she was running in to get the ball, she ran into a foot after the kick.
So you think that should have been on
I don't think there should have been a penalty.
Fair enough.
Just me.
But Mike, we know you're neutral. You're professional.
Yeah, very neutral. Yeah.
As Hawkins wraps this one up.
I just cut my finger and I'm bleeding green over here, okay? That's how neutral I am.
There's some orange in there, too.
No, never.
Hawkins puts this down. Up the far side. Hawkins comes way out. You don't see her do that a whole lot,
Good
but
protection.
it's a nice job getting to it in time. I think Hawkins is aware of Shannon Levangie and Anna Bertarelli, two ringers for the Cougars, who have put on some shots on net so far today. Hasbrook puts us down towards the circle. Here comes the Cougars once again. McNiff establishing possession out in front. An opportunity here into the danger zone. Turned away by O'Connor. A nice slide there in front of Emma Tucker. Emma Tucker was approaching fast, but a nice job by O'Connor. But still very good positioning for the Cougars. Throwing off the far side. Header by the defender to get it out of the zone. Hillers certainly need to establish some possession outside their defensive zone, though. The Cougars have had the momentum in the last few minutes, and maybe a shot here. Nicely done by Hasbrook. Along the far side is Margaret Allen trying to turn it around. Out of bounds it goes. I'll tell you, Hasbrook has been all over the field today. She's been clutch, as usual. Of course, the only goal of the game scored by Allie Bird. In the danger zone for the Hillers once again. Turned around. Nicely defended as Olivia O'Connor able to scoop it out. Shot here, and it is wide to the right. She wasn't able to get too much mustard on that one. Calkins wraps it up. There's Emma Tucker on the attempt. Calkins boots it away. Boot down by Sullivan. Over to Allie Bird. Bird. Nice pass over to Delaney Mick. Mick along the near side, into the corner, out of bounds it goes. Cougars will get to clear it out. Approaching 3 minutes left in this first half. 1-0 lead for Hopkinton. Set to clear it away is Loughnane. To midfield she goes, off of McDonald. Turned around by Lily York. Back into the Cougars' territory. Hopkinton going to handle it here. And she'll get the free kick. Out of bounds it went. Header there by McDonald along the near side and out. Catherine Shaw on the entry. Off of Levangie. Out of play. Throw in Hillers. Hasbrook on the throw in. Towards Delaney Mick. That went off of a Cougar, off of Shaw. Hillers will do it again. Hasbrook on the entry. Out in front, McDonald. Might have something here. Back to Hasbrook.
There you go.
Move
Nice
to
change
center
of
it up.
field.
Yep.
Nice.
Over along the far side. Megan Sullivan couldn't get to it in time. Turned around. Nice job there by Lily York, but that'll be wrapped up by Roberts. We are inside of 2 minutes left to go in the first half. 1-0 lead for the Hillers over the Cougars here in the sectional final. Winner heads to the Division II state championship to take on the North champion. Here comes McDonald. McDonald up the far side she goes. Good footwork along the sideline. The Cougars trying to hang on to the possession. They've had trouble with that the last couple of minutes. It's been back and forth momentum shifts. The Cougars were really putting pressure on in the last few minutes, but the Hillers have since established some good possessions. Allie Bird on the chase down. That forces Roberts out of the net. Roberts will release it. Over to midfield, turned around by Pine. Zent along the far side. Zent out in front. Good ball distribution here. Here comes Lily York. York along the near side, turns it around over to Delaney Mick. Mick looking for a shot here. Deflected by the defender. Nice job by the Cougars getting it away. Hopkinton gets it back, however. There's McDonald trying to center it up. Turned around by the Cougars. Hopkinton trying to avoid letting the Cougars establish any kind of attack for the remainder of this first half. Back to midfield. Zent going to try to get to this one. And coming up that sideline, that's Levangie. Out of bounds it goes. Excuse me, that was actually Bertarelli. It'll be a throw-in for the Cougars, so we'll have one last opportunity here in this first half. Bertarelli, good footwork. Pass down to Pine. Over to Shaw looking for the shot, and that's deflected off a defender. Let's turn around. And that is going to do it for the first half. And after one half of play, it's the Hopkinton Hillers 1, the Notre Dame Academy Cougars nothing. A great battle, as you would expect, here in these South Division II sectional finals between the 9th-seeded Hillers and the 6th-seeded Cougars. The second half coming up next on HCAM.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM. From setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
Welcome back to Canton High School. We are ready for the second half between the Hopkinton Hillers and the Notre Dame Academy of Hingham Cougars. Hillers the 9th seed, Notre Dame Academy the 6th seed in the South Division II sectional bracket. And both teams have had a tough road to get here to the sectional championship game, but have come up with some impressive wins. And the Cougars, they have some work to do to try to get back in this game, trailing 1-0, thanks to a goal by Allie Bird. Over along the far side, Cougars trying to work their way back into Hillers territory. It's turned away, they'll be popped out of bounds.
Well, Tom, as at the break, I stopped over to this wonderful concession stand that is run by the Canton High School Boosters Club. And on my way back, a parent who just got to the game says, "Hey, who's the guest and who's home and whatever?" So I says, "Hopkins up 1-0." He says, "How's the game going?" I says, "Back and forth." That's what this whole day has been, back and forth. There has been no dominance other than goaltending.
Right.
That you can see. I mean, as far as the ball, offense and defense is pretty equal.
Absolutely. Lots of momentum shifts in this one. Of course, the only number that matters is goals. Right now, the Hillers, the only team to have one of those. 1-0 lead for Hopkinton as they work their way into Cougars territory. Up by Welding. And this will force Roberts out of the net. It was a fun first half and very well played by both teams. It was Allie Bird scoring with 14:54 left to go in the first half to put Hopkinton on top. Out along the near side. Cougars certainly did get some great shots on net in that first half. And a couple times there was a couple very close misses. As the Cougars trying to establish an attack here. Out in front. Tucker able to pop it around into the danger zone it goes, and it's diverted by Riley Delaney. This is going to be a free kick for the Hillers. It was offsides on the Cougars, I believe.
Hey, one nice thing about having this game in Canton, they still got Papagino's down here. Since it is the headquarters home of Papagino's.
That's right.
And they're all gone in Ashland, both of them. Nothing around us anymore.
Yep, well, the very last few. As Calkins will clear this one. To midfield. Megan Sullivan trying to turn it around. McDonald over to the far side. Allie Bird chasing it down. Back into Hillers territory. Well, if you're Hopkinton, you need to keep your foot on the gas pedal against this Cougars team. They have some good shooters. They've gotten some great shots on net, so you really got to keep the attack going as Maya Zentz tripped up along the near side as she collides with Bertarelli.
Yeah, she took a hard fall and chinned the pitch.
She'll have the throw in along the near side. Zena, senior for the Hillers, has been a key part of this team for the last couple of seasons. That's over towards Lily York. York along the end line, turns it around, over to Welding. Welding with the shot, and that's scooped up by Roberts. That was a nice shot there by Welding. Didn't have much distance to work with, but she was able to at least get it on net. Towards midfield. Header there. Out of bounds it goes off of Shaw. Hillers throwing. Maya Zenta on the entry. Over to Welding. Now it's York. And that one's stolen away by Loughnane. Now along the far side it's Pine. Out of bounds it goes. Off of the Cougars, Hasbrook on the entry. Approaching 35 minutes left to go in this second half. Here comes Allie Bird. Bird into the danger zone here. Some good footwork. Couple Cougars in front of her, however. And a shot there out in front. Zent trying to get to it, and we're going to have a whistle. And I think this one's going to be against the Hillers, and it will, offsides.
No, I think it was a handball.
Or a handball, rather, actually. Yep. You're right. It was a touch there.
Thank you to this big TV screen.
Along the near side. Turned away by Reardon. Hillers put the pressure on. That was impressive as Bertarelli able to keep that one on her back. I don't even think she realized what was happening.
No.
Out of bounds it goes off of Welding.
I love how excited the parents get when someone gets hit. It's like they're always looking for a call.
There's Allie Bird. Yeah, you're allowed some physical play in this game.
Absolutely.
McDonald now Welding. Welding out in front on the chase down Delaney Mick, and that forces Roberts out. Smart move by Roberts. You don't want Delaney Mick to get an open shot on net if you're the Cougars. This one off of Welding. Chased down by Shaw. Put out of bounds. Shaw on the entry. Zent is there. It's taken by Tucker for the Cougars. Back out of bounds it goes, this time in favor of the Hillers. Maya Zent on the entry. Into the Cougars zone. Nice pass by Bird down to Zent. That one off of Reardon. Welding trying to center it up. Out in front, a defender is there. It's also a free kick for Notre Dame. Loughnane will take it. He airs it out. Here comes the Cougars trying to establish an attack. Tucker over to Pine. It gets away from her. That was booted out of bounds. Off of a Cougar.
Here we get some subs.
Yeah, back into the game for the Hillers is Meredith Sesnick. And she has played well today. She'll give Gabby Welding a little breather. Now into the danger zone, and Calkins will come way out of the net to scoop it up. Well, it's been some great goaltending today from Calkins. She'll boot it away up the far side. Off of Allie Bird. On the sideline was Tucker for the Cougars. Throwing for the Hillers. It's Riley Delaney. On the far sideline, and that is out. This will go in favor of the Cougars. Allie Bird getting right in there. Hillers trying to get into the attack zone. Nice boot from along the far sideline. Cougars working their way into Hopkinton territory. Lily York with the header there. A little bit of body contact, but certainly not enough to draw the whistle. Here comes McDonald. McDonald up towards Sesnick. Nice job by Sesnick keeping possession.
Nice give and go, too.
Certainly was. There's Maya Zent. And
Yeah,
stolen away. Zent was trying to get it over to McDonald, but Ann Pine there to interrupt. The Hillers get it right back, however. Out of bounds along the far side. That was off of a Cougar, as it was Delaney Mick meeting up with Grace Callow. Throw in Hopkinton. Good boot there by Riley Delaney, centering it up, and Roberts comes out of the net and scoops it away. Sesnick was hoping to sneak in a shot there. Back towards midfield. Over to the near side, Zent trying to get to it. Cutting her off was Bertarelli. Hillers throw in. We're about 10 minutes through this second half. It remains a 1-0 lead for the Hillers. Tom Nappy, Mike Tarosian, happy to be with you for this South Division II sectional final. The winner of this game goes to the state championship for Massachusetts Division II soccer. On the girls' side, of course. Along the near side, chased down by Allie Bird.
Nope.
We'll get a whistle here.
She went out of bounds with it.
Yeah. Throw in for the Cougars. We'll do it again. Back and forth possessions once again, as we saw in the first half. The Hillers defenders doing a great job not letting the Cougars get any shots off, really. Cougars, for the most part, have had to shoot off balance and from a good distance. They've had a couple close calls, but the Hillers' defense has played very well.
Yeah, as the Cougars is learning, they're going to have to earn this goal because the Hillers aren't the type to make the mistakes that would have another team have a scoring advantage.
Right. And the Hillers aren't a team that gives up a whole lot of goals.
No. Oh, they don't make the mistakes.
That's part of the reason they have 6 ties on the season as well. As Hopkinton trying to work it out of their defensive zone. Out of bounds along the near side it goes. Cougars throw in. Shaw will take it. Off of Zent. Back in the Hillers' territory. And Pine trying to get to it. It's chased down by Loughnane. And put out by Tucker.
Yeah, she felt the pressure.
And it'll be a Hillers throw in. So they'll have a good opportunity here. That's Hasbro taking the throw in. Here comes Hopkinton trying to establish an attack. It's stolen away. Here comes the Cougars. It's Emma Tucker with possession. Tucker along the near side, out in front. Turned around. And Hasbro chases it down. Pretty much if you get on the Hasbro side of the field, good luck trying to establish a shot. Throw in for the Hillers. Here comes Hopkinton trying to work back into Cougars territory. Turn around by Shaw. Good turnout here for this Monday afternoon holiday sectional final. On both sides, good representation from both schools as Loughnane puts us in the Hillers territory. McDonald turns it around, up the far side she goes. Approaching 26 minutes left in this second half. Hillers clinging on to a 1-0 lead. Up the far side, Delaney Mick, out of bounds it goes, Cougars ball. Back into the game for the Cougars is Ellie Tucker. And for the Hillers, Margaret Allen back in. Taking a break is Meredith Sesnick. Along the far side. Cougars
There you go.
trying to divert the pressure. Hillers establishing an attack. Turned around on the near side by Allen. Towards Zent. Centered up. Header out to the near side, and it's turned around by Bertarelli. Out in front, and that's going to draw a whistle, some hard contact there. It was just 2 players colliding with each other, really.
And I see a yellow card coming out.
Oh, maybe they will bring out the card. Yeah, there it is. So there is a yellow card. That's a warning for Riley. And that was hard contact between Riley and Emma, but it just kind of looked like to me they ran into each other. It was just a tough situation to avoid.
Yep.
But the Cougars going to have a big free kick coming up here.
Well, they find it intentional when there's no play for the ball and you just have a collision like that.
Right.
Oh, it's just a yellow card.
Yep.
You can't take those home with you.
Now you just have to be able to defend this free kick. And with the power that Lofnine has, you wonder if she's going to try to put this right in the net. Looks like the Hillers are going to sub out here. Into the game is Catherine Lagasse. And Riley Delaney will take a break. So Margaret Lofnine to take this free kick. She's a junior out of Milton.
Hillers have to give the 15 yards of separation from the ball.
Yep.
And everyone's lined up for their little scrum on the keeper's box.
So how'd you like coaching soccer back in the day,
I
Mike?
tell you, it was a lot of fun. I got rooked into it, suckered in, and fell in love with it, and did it for 12 years.
Perfect. There's a pass over to the near side. Good strategy
little
here,
play.
but it's cut off by Allie Bird. Still with possession, however. Shaw trying to center it up. Out in front, the shot there is a little too high by Ellie Tucker. Nicely done by the Hillers, and what a job by Allie Bird getting right in the middle of action very quickly. And that was an off-balance shot by Ellie Tucker. She had to get that one away quickly and just could not get it down like she wanted. As Calkins kicks it away. That was a nice try there by the Cougars, though.
Yeah, nice little deflection call.
Yep.
Everyone's lined up looking for the big kick, and there's that one player nobody's paying attention to on the sideline. And gives a nice brisk pass. It wasn't the strongest pass. I'd like to, for that play to be more effective, I would have wanted to see that kick, that little pass a little stronger. And it wasn't that strong, which gave the Hillers plenty of time to react.
Right. Riley Delaney's back in the game for Lagasse. Throwing for the Cougars. Hillers trying to cut this one off. Nicely done by Megan Sullivan, who's done a great job working at midfield. Boot down by Pine out in front. This will draw Calkins out.
Yeah, that was a weird kick. There was no need. There was time to settle the ball, but Cougars can't score like that.
Right.
Giving up that ball, turn it over. Because what are you doing here? You just wasted time, and now you're giving Hillers a chance to get better field position.
That's right. Hillers will take it, though. On the far side, Hasbro clears it away. She was looking for Allie Bird there.
Again, right there. That should have been a soft take and a dribble.
Hasbro over to McDonald. Up the far side towards Bird. Hasbro. Pass out to McDonald. Let's put out of play. Just past the 23-minute mark of this second half. So about midway through. Coming up the far side, Lily York. York along the end line, out of play it goes, off of York.
She tried to turn it, also tried to line it up to force a corner kick.
Yep. Good boot there by Lofnine. Hillers put it right back, however. Out in front, that's Allie Bird. Over to the near side, Zent, out of play. Was off of a Cougar.
Sub.
And official stoppage here, sub for the Hillers. Lagasse back in the game for Lily York this time. And that was off of a Cougar, so she'll do it again. My Zent on the entry. Approaching the midway point of this second half.
Referee giving a little instruction.
Maybe a little warning there.
I like to call it instruction.
I like it. Sullivan in the corner. Out of bounds, Cougars. There'll be a throw in for the Hillers. Zent on the entry. This is what you want if you're Hopkinton. Nice long
right.
possession in Cougars territory. In the corner, Margaret Allen. And we're going to have a corner kick. Huge, huge opportunity for the Hillers.
And of course, the kicker is just off camera here. Oh, you know what? Let me cheat a little. Yeah, at least we'll see the kick.
Is going to be Delaney Mick. From the corner, centered up, and a little too much mustard on that. Still in the danger zone, though. And the Cougars able to force it out. The Hillers trying to put it back in. Allie Bird wide open. There's a shot, and she's not able to get any air under it, and Roberts wraps it up. Booted away by Roberts. On the near side, Shaw. And play it goes. Throw in Cougars. Shaw on the entry over to Savaria. We'll do it again. That was off of a Hiller. Off of Lagasse again. Throw in Cougars.
Oh, just throwing it on off the field.
And that was Emma Tucker looking for somebody on the far side.
Yeah.
She should have took that shot.
Right. Well, that was a good play, but it was just too far out in front of him.
Yep. Callow into Levangie. Cougars ball still. We are just past the midway point of this second half. 1-0 lead for Hopkinton, but the Cougars threatening. There's a shot, and it's wrapped up by Hawkins. That was a hard shot right at her. I want to say that was Ann Pine who got that one off. Hillers trying to work back into Cougars territory. They certainly don't want any more big threats like they just had. Donald turned away by Shaw. Here comes the Cougars once again along the near side. It's Bertarelli. Put out of bounds off of O'Connor. Throw in Cougars. Shaw on the entry. Along the near side, and Margaret Allen was trying to keep it in, but unsuccessful. Cougars deep in Hillers territory. There's a shot here up in the air and a little bit too far to the right by Bertarelli. So the Hillers will get to clear it away. And they'll certainly take their time clearing this one away.
Yeah, there's no need to rush. Work off those minutes. Yeah, it looks. Is that who we're playing there in the finals?
Hawkins airs it away. Well, unless they're playing I believe that's a boys team
That's
over
a
there.
boys team over there. I can't tell. Oh, they must be the next group.
Yeah, there's a couple games that are going to take place on this field today. One of the playoff destinations, and we can certainly see why. Beautiful campus here at Canton High School as Roberts comes out of the net and is able to scoop it up. Along the far side. Back in Hillers territory. Hasbro chases it down and puts it out. Well, Cougars, they know that time's running out, and they got to put the pressure on.
That's right. They got to make a move now. Now's the time to get the move because, all right, you get yourself the tie, but what happens after that?
Right.
Make the move now.
Well, first step is to get that tie to extend the game.
Right now you're playing with 3 defenders back. There's no need for it. Play with 1. Give yourself some extra legs up there.
Right.
There's no need to tie's not going to help you.
Yeah, I certainly think they need to put more pressure on, that's for
Right.
sure. But what I think they're scared of is the speed on the corners.
Sure.
By the Hillers just burning them upfield if they send those defenders down. Just the way Hasbrook has owned her side of the field, and you got Allie Bird across from her. Whole lot of speed for the Hillers, and I think that's why the Cougars are hanging back a little bit.
Yeah. I can see you doing man for man, but not.
Yep.
You don't need that. You don't need that sweeper there.
Zent doing battle with Bertarelli. Bertarelli will have the throw in. Nope, she'll give it off to Shaw. Off of Zent. Field. Cougars bring it back into Hillers territory. Bertarelli trying to get to it.
Uh-oh.
Shot opportunity here. And nice job by the Hillers defenders getting out in front. Well, just able to get by O'Connor was Bertarelli, and it's a nice job O'Connor catching back up with her.
Oh, ref called that out on blue, so.
Cougars putting it back into the attack zone. On their side, throw in for Shaw. Cougars have certainly had the possession battle on their side over the last few minutes. We got a whistle here, free kick Hillers. Offsides, I believe was a call. Approaching 15 minutes left in regulation.
Unofficial, of course.
That's right. But pretty close to the official time.
Pretty close.
Zent's going to take it. Get some good air under it. Here comes Hopkinton. Along the near side, it's McDonald. Pass up.
Put it in front, right there.
Out in front, and that shot is a little wide to the left by Allen.
She had the right idea. She made the turn just to put it in front. That's all you need right there. Put it in front for him.
And it
Timeout
looks
blue.
like we're going to have a timeout call, and I certainly think that's a good timeout call there by Coach Turner to talk to her team. You're getting down to the last few minutes, and time is running out on the Cougars as the Hopkinton Hillers leading Notre Dame Academy of Hingham 1-0. It is the South Division II sectional finals on HCAM.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM. From setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
Welcome back off the timeout. Notre Dame Academy kicks it away. Good air under it by Loughnane. Throw in by the Cougars. We are getting towards the final 14 minutes of this second half. Hillers clinging on to the 1-0 lead. Pass up by Lagasse. Over to Bird, the lone goal scorer in this game. A little push there, and no whistle.
No whistle.
Yeah, maybe a late whistle. Yeah, Margaret Allen with a little push on McNiff. That deserved a whistle, I'd say.
I think it was more of a possession
Ooh, are we going to see a
question.
card?
You can from the coach. Coaches get cards too.
All right, so it'll be a free kick. Loughnane takes it. It's a good one. Out in front, header, and it's wide to the right. Oh, that was a grand opportunity for the Cougars, but they could not complete. That was Avery McNiff trying to head it in, and it went just wide to the right.
I'm sorry, I'm not overly convinced on that call. Yeah, two players go for the ball. They both ran into each other. Neither hit the ball. Should have been a non-issue.
Well, I think the whistle came because it was a blatant push there. She extended the hands and it was pretty clear.
That looked like defensive.
Yeah.
Protection. But that's just me.
My Homer feelings aside, I'd say that deserved a whistle.
Homer feeling, you're a Milford guy.
Well, I got traded to Hopkins.
You got traded.
Throw in for the Hillers along the far side. Tom Nappy, Mike Terosian, happy to be with you at Canton High School for the South Division II sectional final between Hopkinton and Notre Dame Academy of Hingham. Winner of this game goes to the state championship as Roberts pulls it down for the Cougars and kicks it away. Winner of this game will play the North champion in the state championship. No Central or West in Division II. That game will take place at Xavier High School next Saturday at a time to be determined. Here comes the Cougars putting pressure on. Out in front of Savaria, and it's turned around. It's out on the Hillers along the far side. Cougars getting a little bit desperate. They know they're coming down in the last few minutes, and they really have to put this pressure on. Stolen away by Hopkinton, and a great boot there.
That keeper should be way out right now. We're talking 11 minutes remaining. That keeper should be at the 40-yard line.
Right.
And there should be no defense. Everyone should be trying to push that ball in.
And we'll see if they do that soon. I think their mentality is they don't want to pull the keeper too wide out because they're getting shots off. And obviously if the Hillers score another goal, this game's just about over. Up the far side, out of play it goes. Throw in Hasbrook. I think the Cougars have the mentality that they could still get one last breakaway and another opportunity. Welding. Good steal there for the Cougars. Nicely done by Loughnane, who puts it down into Hillers territory. And it's turned away. Back to midfield. Zent trying to play it off her body there.
Hillers just need to control and contain that ball.
Yep.
Dribble and pass. Enough with the free kicks.
There's a good boot by Loughnane. Pass over by Lagasse. Up in the air goes Savaria. That's chipped by Allen back into Cougars territory. And Loughnane will respond. Pass over to Cronin. There's Bertarelli. Cougars trying to establish an attack, but having a tough time. The Hillers' speed has gotten the best in their defensive zone so far. Towards midfield. That's 10 minutes and counting left to go in regulation. O'Connor with the header over to the far side. Popped up in the air in the danger zone, and Calkins will wrap it up. Well, Calkins has been sensational in net today for the Hillers. She's had a few very good saves. In the Cougars' territory, good boot there towards Delaney Mick. Out of play it goes. Throw in Cougars. Along the far side, near Levangie. Here comes Hopkinton. Turned away by Shaw. Did go out of play. Hasbrook will have the entry. Substitution, Hillers, Allie Bird back in the game. Gassi will take a break. Well, what a job head coach Wayne Sygrove has done in his first year at the helm for the Hillers to lead them on this playoff run all the way to the sectional finals for any first season head coach. That's just
great.
Impressive.
Yeah.
At midfield, a couple of exchanges. 8.5 left. Hillers up 1-0. Of course, that time unofficial. There'll be a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Cougars trying to put pressure on. Over to the near side. Shaw able to center it up a little bit. Out in front. Header there by both sides. Good exchange. Emma Tucker by the Hiller defender, and Bird trying to break away with it. I'll tell you, Olivia O'Connor's been busy today for the Hillers. And that's going to draw a whistle, some contact there. And it is in favor of the Cougars. Margaret Loughnane going to take it, approaching 7.5 left. Cougars have owned the possession battle, though, the last few minutes. And they're putting the pressure on. Out in front, turned away by Zent. Now over to the far side it goes. Still in that danger zone, but now cleared out. Nicely done. That was a good boot over to the far side by Megan Sullivan. Hillers trying to work it out of their territory. And
very
really
agile
just
head
an
ref.
exchange here. Yep. Along the near side. How to play it goes. That was off of Allen.
Give the kid the ball.
Throw-in Cougars approaching 6.5. Shaw on the entry. There goes Bird. Pass there. And there's a shot off a defender. That was a nice job getting under it by Welding. And we are going to have a timeout called by the Hillers. Coach Sagra wants to talk things over. And we got about 6 minutes left to go in regulation. A little more than that with stoppage time, probably about 8. But it has been another great defensive performance by the Hillers so far today. And with the timeout on the field, we'll take one as well. Hopkinton leading Notre Dame Academy 1-0 on HCAM.
What would you do if someone gave you a television station? Would you run a camera? Host your own program? Would you like to be a director or edit shows? Maybe you'd be a big-time producer. Your station is ready for action. Start your media adventure with the workshops at HCAM. From setting lights to directing talent to editing. If you're interested in having fun and making a difference in your community, why not do it on TV? Join our crew and get your own piece of the action.
The crowd is getting loud as we enter the last few minutes of regulation in this South Division II sectional final between the 9th-seeded Hopkinton Hillers and the 6th-seeded Notre Dame of Hingham Cougars. Hillers on the entry along the near side. About 6 minutes left to go, just over 6 minutes left to go, according to the scoreboard clock. With stoppage time, we'll assume about 8. Maizena on the entry. Over to the corner, chased down by Reardon. Out of bounds it goes, and Notre Dame Academy will be able to kick it away. Lofnane airs it out. It was off of Tucker. Back into the Cougar zone. Here comes the Hillers. Welding is trying to work her way upfield. Nice job by Hopkinton, keeping it in the neutral zone, but Ann Pine has other plans. A good steal there.
I think right now Hillers need to concentrate on 6 minutes of keep away.
And this is in favor of the Cougars. Ellie Bird was trying to get to it. Lofnane airs it out. Out in front, Sesnick works it upfield. Over to Lofnane. To Reardon. Reardon, pass over to the far side, looking for Levangie. Levangie trying to center up. Maybe a shot here as Hasbrook able to chase it down. And a big free kick coming up for the Cougars. This is a huge one. Very good positioning as well. It's going to be placed at the 15-yard line. And they're certainly going to give it everything they got right here.
Well, I see right now that they did take, and they have all their backs are playing up front. They just got the sweeper in the back right now. This is a perfect time for
Lofnane will take it on the ground. And I think she wanted to lift it up there, but couldn't get the air under it. It is out in front. Shot. And it's wrapped up by Calkins. Well, that was a big opportunity squandered for Notre Dame Academy there. They need to get air under those shots if they want any chance. Yeah. Upfield goes Calkins. Hillers will take it. Less than 4 minutes of regulation. Without stoppage time, of course. Back to midfield. Hillers up 1-0, clinging on to the lead in the final few minutes of this one. Header by O'Connor. Here comes Hopkinton, driving into Cougars territory. No whistle there. McDonald was looking for one. With the way they've been calling, having the whistles against the Hillers, they should have had one there against the Cougars.
Right. Cougars have to be first on ball now for everything. Anytime that ball is kicked, they got to be first to it.
That's right. And there's not much stoppage time, I don't believe, in the second half.
That keeper should have dribbled that ball all the way up until she found pressure.
Cougars trying to establish an attack once again. Sesnick along the near side, trying to turn it around. She's met up with McNiff.
Subs.
Zent will have the entry. Off of Shaw. Turned around by Pine. Hasbrook out in front. It got by her. And that is put out of bounds along the end line off the Hillers.
And we're not going to get called for that push. Okay.
Oh, no, they're going to call it out off the Cougars. All right, so that works out. Levangie must have been the one to get the last touch.
Notice how she kicks it to the far corner this time. That's how they use up that clock.
Hawkins set to air this one out. Approaching 2 minutes left. There's up 1-0, just clinging on. Zent and Bertarelli Clyde. And this will go in favor of the Hillers. Bertarelli with a little trip there. Zent's going to take her time with this one.
Yep.
Less than 2 minutes left to go in regulation. Hillers moments away from heading to a state championship. Header along the near side by Shaw. Throwing for Maya Zent. Into the Cougars zone.
Under 2 minutes.
Yep.
Love it.
Cougars, maybe one last chance here. Out of bounds it goes along the near side in favor of the Hillers. Maya Zenta on the entry. Winner of this game moves on to the state championship at Xaverian High School next Saturday at a time to be determined. Or Xaverian High School. I always tend to say that school wrong.
There's no accent. Xaverian.
Xaverian.
I didn't want to correct you, but since you corrected yourself,
that's right.
Fair game. Uh-oh.
I was saying it wrong the other night, and I was called out on it. So I'll try to say it right this time. In the danger zone, Calkins jumps up. That's out in front. They got to get it out of there, and it is put over to the far side of the field. Ooh, big pressure there by the Cougars. That might have been their last chance. They might have one more opportunity if they can get the ball down quickly. Out in front. There's Reardon. There's a boot here. Good air under it. Calkins is under it and wraps it up. Hang on to that ball as long as you possibly can. She'll air it out. Up the far side. Great kick. Deep into Cougars territory. And that's it. The Hopkinton Hillers hang on, and they are going to get the 1-0 win over Notre Dame Academy of Hingham. And the Hopkinton Hillers are moving on to the Division II state championship as they are the Division II South Sectional champions. What a run by first-year head coach Wayne Sygrove and this Hopkinton Hillers team. And we're certainly going to stay here for the presentation of the trophies. But the Hopkinton Hillers get yet another win in the postseason. And wow, Mike, are they playing unbelievable soccer or what?
I tell you, you know what? This is my first time I see it. Not a single mistake was made out there in the field. There were a couple of advantages. that the Notre Dame team was able to take, but it wasn't due on mistakes.
Right. And this is their...
And the goaltending, let's just talk about the keepers of both teams, is what kept the score down and what kept the Hillers winning.
Yeah. The only goal of the game was Allie Bird. Natalie Calkins was tremendous in net. And this is the third 1-0 victory in a row for the Hillers. So to your point about mistakes, they haven't really been in a situation they could afford any mistakes, and they haven't made them. They've just been playing perfect defensively.
That's outstanding. What a fantastic play by this Hiller team.
The Hillers have not let up a goal throughout the entire postseason. They have outscored their 4 opponents by a total of 5-0. That is tremendous. To do that in the postseason, that just shows you how unbelievable this Hillers defense is. And how well they're coached, of course. A 1-0 victory for Hopkinton. Unbelievable. When they started the season, they started a little rough. But they worked through some issues, and they just got better and better as the year went on. So we're going to send it down to field side now. They'll have the trophy presentation. The Hopkinton Hillers
Ladies and
are
gentlemen,
the South Sectional champions.
At this time, let's congratulate both teams on an outstanding contest this afternoon. Well played. This time, I'm going to direct your attention to the center of the field where MIAA soccer tournament representative Danny Erickson will make the presentation of the trophies to today's team. We ask the captains and coaches of the Notre Dame Academy to please step forward to accept the 2018 Division South Sectional Soccer Finalist Trophy. Congratulations to an outstanding season. We ask now that the captains and coaches of the Hopkinton Hillers to please step forward to accept the 2018 Division South Sectional Soccer Championship Trophy. Please give a loud applaud for both teams for a wonderful, wonderful game today.
And there it is, the trophy presentation. The Hopkinton Hillers moving on to the state championship as they take down the Notre Dame Cougars of Hingham. 1-0 is the final. And another tremendous postseason performance by this Hillers team. And they are just loaded with speed, talent, and great ability. And they have used all that great ability this season to head to the state championship. An unbelievable accomplishment by this Hillers team. Mike, any final thoughts?
I tell you, let's go. Let's get to, when are we going to, Xavier?
Next Saturday.
Next
Time
Saturday?
to be determined, and of course we'll keep you up to date on the HCAM website.
All right, I'm ready.
hcam.tv. Well, that is going to wrap up coverage
consider sticking
for
around for
this
the Division II
sectional
boys
final.
will
The
start
Hopkinton
at
Hillers
6:30.
beat the Notre Dame Cougars of Hingham 1-0. For Mike Terosian, I'm Tom Nappy. The Hillers moving on to the state championship. We'll have coverage of that, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity Soccer on HCAM.